All right, welcome to the show. This is going to be a multi-part series. It's going to be called Interview with the Broker, where my agents get to ask me anything and everything. So this is part one. Destiny, go ahead and take it away.
All right, this is an election year.
Yes.
And, historically in an election year, interest rates tend to either lower or stay the same. Same with gas prices, either lower or kind of stay the same. And we're in the beginning of this election year, so we should start seeing those things happen as the year goes on. How do you think that an election year and the difference in interest rates, gas prices, all those things affect the real estate market?
Okay, that's deep, and we're not going to be political at all. But we do notice that during these cycles, the Fed, let's say with rates and stuff, will most likely stay still or even lower a little bit. And you could say that's one way or another. It doesn't actually matter who's in office. I think pretty much every time I've seen an election, that is what happens. It either stays the same or goes a little bit lower. So that's going to, in a short term, it's going to allow the markets to kind of recover a little bit from what we've had the last couple of years with the raising of rates. And they were doing that to curb inflation. And I think that we can see what's going on from the Fed right now, that is they've done what they needed to do. And they haven't raised rates for the last couple of sessions, and they are hinting that in early 24 that they will actually lower a little bit. So because of an election year or because it did what it wanted to do, you can decipher that for yourself. But I feel that means that we're going to have, in the real estate industry, we're going to have a good spring. We're going to have a good summer. If things stay the same or get a little bit better, you will start to see buyer confidence come up, and that means that there will be more buyers on the market, and we should see an influx in transactions. And I think we're already starting to see that a little bit. But yeah, I would say that because we're in an election year, for the short term, it's going to be good. And then the outcome of the election will obviously determine, where things go from there and the policies of whoever's president at that time.
Where do you see, just like in the general economy, and I'm going to throw this at you expectedly, so I might kind of put you on your toes with this. But so when I think of general economy, I know things here in Texas tend to stay better than in other places. But when I think of food cost, and it costs so much more to go to the grocery store now, or to eat out, or really to do anything. How do you think that those things in the economy, what kind of effect do you think that has on the real estate market?
Well, it's definitely a squeeze, right? You're right. Here in Texas, we have been kind of sheltered from some of the big market swings that you see kind of on our coasts, right? And we've been sheltered from that. But I would argue that over the last, let's say, 5 years, since 2018 or so, we've seen massive inflation in the New Braunfels area. And in San Antonio and in Austin. And so we're feeling some of those things here now. And that does put a squeeze on everybody, especially in real estate and buying houses and that sort of thing. And when we do that, or when that does happen, everybody just kind of wants to hold on to their money. When especially, let's say you're a younger family with a couple young kids, and your gas is more expensive and groceries are more expensive, and that extra expense of it's cheaper to buy a house monthly than it is to rent a house, but that out of pocket that you got to come up with is kind of tough for people. So I think generally the economy and the housing forecast, I would say, is definitely putting a squeeze on people, but it's always temporary. After a while, people will come back to buying houses, and they just kind of get nervous when they see rates go up. And let's face it, we were, from 2018 to 2021, we were absolutely spoiled at 3.5% rates, and the economy was booming. Gas prices were super low, and everything was going really, really well. And we all knew that couldn't last, but I mean, hopefully a lot of us as agents cashed in while we could and saved as much as possible for these kind of times. But yeah, that's, it's not terrible, the economy, but we've definitely had better times recently that we all wish we were back to.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
well, thanks for your time.
yeah.